Hello. I have no idea if this is working, so I'll probably have to check first before I get to talking. So, my videos live, still not live, apparently. Am I still not live? This is the first time I do this kind of. Okay, I think I'm live. Okay, audio sounds good. Okay, so should I use my webcam? Let me try using the webcam. Let's see how that looks. How does that look? Let's see how that looks. Okay. Well, I guess we can try to keep that on in the meantime. Uh, so what are we doing? We are trying to code something. Uh, Did another straw poll last time, so maybe we can look at that. And basically, I sent a link. It basically just what should I work on? It should require the use of a database, authentication, etc. And it will be using a T3 stack with NextAuth and Prisma. And these are the options: Twitter clone, Twitter Jumia, to-do list, those kind of, something I just thought of. A list in a website. I don't remember putting this. Ah, yeah. I allowed the addition of multiple other suggestions from other people. And ideally, if any other person actually likes that idea as well, they can vote for it. And the results shockingly were a bit too close. So someone suggested a minimal kudos as long as it has some kind of hierarchy in type of users, admin and normal user. Now, I don't know if everyone voted because it had kudos in the name or if everyone was interested in this kind of hierarchy being implemented in Prisma. Either way, I feel like we can achieve that kind of hierarchy regardless of whether or not it's on this kudos or on this Twitter clone. So I'm not entirely sure yet what to go for. And in terms of hierarchy, uh, hierarchy Prisma databases. And maybe usually the way you go about it is just by referencing references. So let's say you have a user can be a service provider. You can just have a service provider foreign key linked to that. Sorry, a user foreign key linked to, let's say, a service provider table. So I don't know if I can just cheat my way through this reading because I don't really want to read that much. So let's see how can I try to exemplify this. So we have, yes, roles. The user can be a regular user and admin, and this is typically specified in, where is it specified? Yeah, here in the user. So the user has a profile, and obviously the default case for the user would be a user role, unless you change it otherwise later on. So for me, this kind of sounds like a good way for us to approach this problem. And then if there are any additional fields, we can just have a foreign key that points to the user. I think most of this chit chat that I'm doing now, I'm just gonna try to separate the video into the live stream into sections so that people can just skip through all this nonsense that I'm saying. But okay. Mm-hmm. Check modifiers, database relation databases, yeah, whatever. Yeah. Okay. So let's go for Twitter clone implementation, and let's try to just note down the kind of things Twitter, uh, Twitter? Could give it a derision name. How about that? Let's see if ChatGPT is good at this kind of stuff. Okay. Yeah, I was looking for OBS alternatives. Anyway, uh, there is a version name of Twitter. Twitter. Twitter? Can I have some? There is a suggestions. Why am I'm being way too polite to Twitter. ريتويت هاشتاج تابع بام شارك تعليق إشعار. Okay, let's call it retweet. Let's call it retweet. I like this. Retweet. Okay, so our project will be retweet. Let's try to briefly look at implementation details. So we said we'd be using T3 stack. T3 stack relatively contains of Tailwind, gRPC, and TypeScript. And we'll also use next auth for authentication and authorization. Maybe you can use something like Google for that. Google, or you can probably go for Azure/Outlook. We'll see which one you go for. We can go for both, but I prefer just keeping it simple. Next auth for authentication. For hosting, we'll be using something like, let me zoom in a little bit. For hosting, we'll be using something like PlanetScale. Yeah, let me DB PlanetScale. I mean, you may use, I guess, Supabase. For the app, we'll be using Vercel. So that's kind of, just makes it a bit easier for us to manage the hosting and stuff, considering we're using T3 stack. Specifically the create T3 option. Create T3. Okay. I'm still not sold on the UI part exactly. I was just recently looking at this and this implementation of, I don't know if it's called Shade CN, Shad CN, I'm not sure. And it's based on this UI library plus Tailwind, so there's some customizability there to be made, and it looks quite good, to be honest. So maybe we'll play with this one, see if we can play with some components. I can tell this is gonna be a pretty long stream, but it's fine. All في إطار having fun. Okay. Okay. So let's go look first at create T3 app, and they themselves actually provide some decent recommendations for other packages that are not that are not shipped with create T3. So besides the six parts, you can look at the docs and other recommendations. Okay, so you have recommendations for state management, Zosta and Jotai, component libraries. They also mention Radix. Headless UI is for Tailwind, which is usually the one that I use most of the time. And this one I'm not very familiar with, to be honest. But okay. Yeah, so this is the one that I was referring to earlier. And animations, we're not gonna need the animations at all. PlanetScale, Railway, Upstash, Pusher. Okay, we don't need all of this. So I'm looking at Tailwind. So considering that we're working with something that looks like Twitter, are there any? Okay, so we have a sidebar layout here that we can probably make use of. Uh-huh. Okay. What else do we have? Sidebars. Do we have any sidebars here? Where? In chat, yeah. This one. Do I have some sidebars? So components, under dialogues, drop down menus. Don't really care about drop down menus. Navigation menus. Okay, so this looks okay. Scroll area now. Table. Okay, we'll figure that out, I guess. We can figure that out. Hmm. Toast, we have some toast, that's nice. Could use that for some error handling. Okay. But I'm not sure exactly if there is a straightforward way of having, because I really don't wanna bother myself with coding a sidebar. It's like the least of my problems. Pop over menu. It looks nice. Should probably turn this off. Slider, yeah, whatever. Don't really care. Tabs, tabs, tabs. Cool, cool. Okay. You know what we'll do? We'll try to go for this implementation of the UI. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, we can just switch to Tailwind and maybe cut this part out of the live stream. So we can do that. Okay. Now, first of all, uh, is there like a way to add flag or something? To add a flag to, you know, say that this is the part where we actually start the implementation. Okay, whatever. Oh, you know what? I haven't done something. I haven't really specified what we will actually implement. So Tailwind or something like that, whatever. But what are we gonna actually have? Uh, tech uh, features. Cool. So features will have basic DB implementation, uh, ability login, or auth. So using third-party authentication services, um, posting, uh, retweet. Although retweet is actually retweet in a retweet, but whatever, you know. So posting a retweet, and what else should we care about? Because I mean, relatively, if you know how to post a tweet, you can pretty much figure out how to delete one or edit one, etc. So we want to play with something that concerns admin only access. So that's something that we might want to play with. Okay, okay, sure. Or should we just scrape the whole idea and try to do something with with kudos? So if you were to do something like kudos, what would we want to implement? Like a bigger header. Okay, kudos. So kudos اسمه الشكر. So so we would have users. Okay, let's at least discuss it from a database point of view. So DB wise, we would have users who are either students or service providers. I mean, service providers are also students, but I'd like to make this kind of distinction because service providers would also have like additional attributes like availability, etc. Which pushes me to say that we would have a table for availabilities as well. Yes, availabilities, service providers, avail availabilities. We'll think about how this table could be deconstructed. So would it have columns based on days or times or maybe like just a string or a range? Okay. So I guess this depends on the business rules that I guess we can set ourselves. or I will set because, you know. Um, so users availabilities, sessions, and the sessions would be basically classes that are part of school curriculum, right? Or sections. No, no, I don't think sections don't matter that much. Yeah, I don't know if they give a consideration for professors if it's a different. No, I don't think so. It's irrelevant. So you have sessions. Sessions take place at a certain time in a certain place. I'm not going to restrict the choice of the place. Worst case, we can just use enums for locations because why should we bother ourselves that much? So we have users availability sessions. So this can push us to work with some aggregations as well. But it's enough to do the aggregations in the front end because I don't think there's what kind of aggregations do we need besides sums and you know. So so we have users. Users can be service providers. That's two. We have availabilities that pertain to service providers. That's three. And we have the sessions. That's four. And the session would have the students and the provider. Okay. So the users can also be admins. That's looks right. And the user who is an admin can take care of adding other users, etc. But I don't think that's something that we can really bother ourselves with. Um, okay. Because ideally, you would have the case of, I mean, since you're using third-party authentication, you could either try to, you know, provide an email, and then once they log in, they are automatically assigned to the admin position, or you can then log in as a regular user, and then you would be assigned the admin role manually. So that depends on the use case as well. Okay, you know what? Let's go for something basic like kudos and see how we can go with this. Okay. Uh, so again, the implementation does not change much. The most annoying aspect of doing this kind of, for me anyway, is managing this annoying thing. So managing times, conflict, etc. That's not my forte, but it's fine. We can play with that. It's okay. سمح. Now we can go ahead and spin up, spin up. Where is the T3? T3. Yes, okay. Create T3. So we'll do this. You can either use npm or yarn or you know what? I'll stick with npm since most people still use npm. Yes, please. Retweet. Wait. Shocker. Retweet. You never know how I could end up switching the project midpoint, so I'd rather just call it Shocker Retweet. Uh, TypeScript. Okay, so I'm gonna use all of these, yes. TRPC, Prisma tailored and TRPC, yes. Initialize the Git repository, yes, please. Do you like it to run npm install? Yes, please. Okay. Hopefully this doesn't take that long. Shouldn't. Either way, mm, I guess ChatGPT could be pretty helpful when it comes to checking for, you know, these time, whatever. Let me check some time management libraries like Moment.js. I don't know if there's a better way of doing it nowadays. Uh, Moment.js alternatives. Luxon. Oh, Day.js. Yes, I heard of this one. Let me check this one out. Get started. Parse. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Parse values and manipulation adding dates and time. Okay, use Chinese. Yeah, it looks normal, I guess. Okay. You can start of the month, add a date to it, and set the year too, and then you can format it in this shape. Yeah, that kind of looks good. What about moment though? Node.js, how big is moment? You can format this. Mm-hmm. I guess you can add strings. Okay, I kind of like this one. Kind of like the fact that you can do this. Calendar, multiple local support. Interesting. Okay, we can use moment. What about this? Looks on. Get started. So is there something fancy or different about this, or what's up? Relative time to format. You'd get the format. Relative calendar demo. Yeah, I think we have relative in. Yeah, I think we have the relative aspect to it. Yeah, you have it here. Okay. Today, tomorrow, etc. Yeah, yeah. So we can use moment for now. We can use moment for this. Okay. I'm guessing this is, oh, this is still going. So in the meantime, we can go for moment, and again, we'll use sharp cd cn or ui whatever. We'll use, what are some other things that are not like included in? We might want to use Zod for form input validation, and something like React hook form for that as well. So React hook form is like hook form, a relatively, well, not modern, but it's newer, I guess. So that makes it modern if you want to. It's a newer, I guess, way of handling forms. Usually people work with Formic, but I guess we can play with this as well. Okay. I hate forms, but it's okay. We can use React hook form as well. I thought I disabled this, but I guess I didn't. Yeah, I did. Okay. So now that this is good, we can go for Shocker Beat and npx prisma db push, then npm run dev. Now if I go here, close 3000. Now I'm provided with this. You know what? Let me just do it inside of Visual Studio Code. Okay. So terminal. Let me zoom a bit. You get too much. I don't know if this looks good. Okay, so let's just run dev. Okay. So one thing that maybe you guys should try to do in NPX Prisma Studio. This could allow us to quickly just look at what we have here. Okay. So the fact that we set up the Create app gives us a few interesting a few things here. Um so we have these tables added by default. These are going to be very useful for next auth because since next auth comes preloaded on the Create app, and for the authentication to work seamlessly with the database and with your server slash frontend integration, you kind of need these kinds of tables here. So we have not really care about this one. We have an account table, session, user, verification token. Now we're not going to touch these. We're just going to keep them the way they are. Maybe play with this. Maybe play with the user table for our needs. But pretty much that's all we care about. Now, if you go to localhost 5555, you have access to the AUI, a GUI for this database. It can allow us to add some records, etc. But we're not going to do that for now. Notice that this is using SQLite. Let's just switch it to Postgres SQL. But actually, I might have to switch it back to MySQL because I'm going to be using the Lightscale. Lightscale does not support Postgres, but it shouldn't be that different since if you use database, you can just keep PostgreSQL here, and yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. Database sleeping. Let's maybe create a new organization. Call it Retweet Shocker. Retweet. Ah, yikes. Okay. Do I care about this one? I don't care about this one. Yes, perfect. Create. So we'll create Shocker Retweet. Now I'm creating database. Earlier I was trying to create an organization. So let's do. Is it Frankfurt? Usually Frankfurt, I think is the closest. Okay. So it's creating a database. It's gonna take some time. Let's go to settings. Uh, sure. Prisma. We can do that. Commit query collection. Don't really care about that. Okay, so we have our database changes. Overview. Connect. So you're gonna be able to see these kinds of things, but it doesn't really matter for me anyway. So I'll just show you guys the how it's supposed to be. Yeah, create password and everything. Yeah. Okay, so we'll go to this. So we have some. I think we might have to make some changes. Well, first let's yonk this password and environment. So this one, right? Database URL. No, wait, what? No, that's not what I need. I need this one. Okay, looks good. And provider should be MySQL, right? Relation, we can just yonk this as well. Provider looks good. Okay. Is it not liking it? Relationship Prisma, no foreign keys are used, so the relationship fields will not benefit from the index. Yeah, sure. We don't care about that. And let me try to push. I'm not sure. I don't think you guys are looking at this. Yeah, so maybe I shouldn't. Yeah. So let's just work with two. Um, npx prisma db push. So what will this do is actually now push to AWS. Connect. So instead of pushing it to the local host, can actually push it to to client scale. Now this time if I go here, it should not give me it now it's giving me 5 tables. Perfect. So my database is now on Prisma, it's hosted. Perfect. And now I need to take care of the authentication. Now we'll go through this later on, but now I should mostly worry about the authentication aspect. Now if we go here, if I do sign in, it's giving me Discord because if I go to auth, I believe it's auth, right? Yes. So here the way next and that's the way next auth works is you can add your set of providers here. It helps to see here like a list of providers that you can add. So you have GitHub provider, you have all these kinds of providers. What we'll probably use Google provider. So we can use something like this. And typically we'll have like a guide for how to add these kinds of providers because you do require a few IDs, few secrets, etc. So we'll just again yonk this. Um, if I simply just put it here, obviously it's not gonna like it, but oh no, no, no. Google provider. I'll just copy this. It looks happy with it. Is it happy? It's not gonna be happy with it because it's actually not. Um, these are not set up. So let's just put them here, right? Let's do this. Probably go to because this is something that comes with Create G3 app is that you have to validate your actual environment variables. You can't just initiate any environment variable, just use it directly. You have to make sure that it's well cross-checked, especially when you host your app. It does go through like this set of environment variables you have there to check that they are actually valid. I just have to remember exactly where do you check that because this actually looks different. No, it doesn't. It doesn't look different at all. Okay, so we'll use because there are going to be strings, obviously, and maybe I should explain that. But this z here comes from this import statement, import z from Zod, and Zod is a data validation library, if you would call it like this. Yeah, schema validation with static type inference. So basically, this allows you to enforce certain data types. Let's say you're dealing with forms. Forms can be numbers, could be dates, could be whatever. Sometimes you want to accept, you only want to accept like, let's say at least 5 characters. You don't want to accept no submission, as a 0 characters, etc. So Zod is a way for you to enforce these kinds of rules. But we'll look at them later. So you can have things like optional, nullable, nullish, etc. Promise, array, whatever. We'll look at that later. But for now, what we're trying to say is that this ID is a string. For instance, here it says that this is a string of minimum 1 character. I believe it's character not, right? Optional means this could be optional as well. Okay. I should do this. Yep. And dot. Yeah, I'm just gonna. Yeah, thank you. Took me a while. Looks good. Okay. So we have a Google Client ID. We have a secret. Save. Now it's not gonna complain about it, is it? Is it still complaining about it? Mm-hmm. Host config any. Let me just double check that this is not the TS server. No, it's not. Okay. This type is not able to type string. Undefined. What's the issue here? So this is here. That looks good. Client ID, client secret. Client ID, client secret. Does it want him here? I don't, no, not really. Doesn't really make sense to do that. We'll just do it, I guess. Uh, auth, auth. No, something's fishy. Mm-hmm. Here comes my specifier. No, we don't really care about that. We care about this client secret. Client secret. This does not matter. Uh, oh. Yeah, it should be inf dot. Yeah, okay. Now looks good, I guess. Okay, okay. Now if you actually go to the sign-in page, if you reload it, now you have a Google option. But obviously that's not gonna work because I don't have a client ID, I don't have a lot of things. So if you can go through the process of creating of getting a Google ID. So we can go for authorize when choosing must end with documentation. So let's go through it as if I'm doing it for the first time. I mean, I'm doing it for the second time, so that kind of is the same thing. Okay, let's go for this. And maybe I should create a new project. Let's do, yeah, we'll call it the same thing. So, requesting increase of the depot, whatever. 7 project is continue. I already forgot. Shocker, reach, reach. Perfect. No organization. Okay. Create. Cool. Cool. Now, what else should I do? To obtain the you can request an access token. Okay, so we'll get them from here again. Let me just revisit this link. I'm going to be under the right organization liaison. And okay, so OAuth. So I should go here. Uh, external. Anyone with a Google account creates. Okay, let's do Shocker retweets. Wants access to your Google account. You can have this as the support email. Upload go don't care. Okay, so if I go back here, it says, so let's use this for development. Should we even have that? No, maybe we should do it here. Yeah, we should do it here. Let's have that as the domain. Must valid screen. Must not valid. Okay. Let's keep it like this. It's still not. Yeah, I am not validating the scheme though. Should be like this. Must not. Okay. Domain is yours. This must be a piece of initiative. If your absence is a for verification, please go to. Should I just do this or what? Why am I struggling so much? Authorized redirect URIs. Authorized redirect URIs. Okay, so maybe we're not gonna do it through here. We're gonna do it through. Can I just do save and continue? Yeah, sure. Save and continue. Yeah, sure. Scopes. Not interested. Test users. Not interested. Yes, publish. Who cares? But here's the thing though. Credentials, API keys, create credentials. Okay, now it's okay. Okay, so it's through here. Application type. It's gonna be a web application. Let's call it Shocker. Do it again. Okay, here we go. So we get it from here. Uh, so we get it from here. Add. So the client ID would be this again. I know I'm not supposed to show this, but doesn't really matter. Do this. Client secret. Do this. And ideally, they should work in theory. Usually nothing works from the first time. Let me just reset the app. I don't know how. Yeah, usually it should work. I didn't really have to reset it. Oh, it's okay. You can just try again. Sign in. Sign with Google. This. And what is the problem? Our problem is divide value for the column is too long for the columns type. Okay. And this is a problem in, is it the ID? No, update user, data, invocation, and provided value for the column. Which column though? Uh, I think I have an idea, but in the meantime, I'm just gonna split this into, okay, insert interest calculated account, ID, user ID, and these values. So let me just quickly split this out and see what they say. Database adapter. Oh, thanks. You might what? Okay. So the problem I think is in account. Yes. So let's do this. Do this. Let's do this. Let me double check that this. Okay. That would probably solve it if I'm not mistaken. Select one. Name it offset. Let's double check that we don't have some random. Oh, I didn't. Okay. I'll do this real quick. Just to double check that I did it last time. Which I think I did. Yes. So an NPX Prisma Studio. And do I have some entries? I have an entry for a user. I think I should get rid of it. Let me get rid of it first. Okay. Now let's try to redo that. So localhost 3000 dot sign with Google, me, and perfect. أبدأ ننزل المرابطين create corporates. You can now see the secret message. So this is perfect. Now if I go to my Prisma user, refresh. Now automatically I have an account. I have a user record within an account. Here's account, and I have a login session. Now this contains the ID token, whatever info you might need with regards to authorization, etc. And I also happen to have access to an image which I could be using for avatar related purposes. Okay, perfect. Now let's look at this page. So if we go to index, is it index? Yes, it is. Okay. So Is this the one? Yes, hello from TRPC, hello from Morocco. So what I'm doing basically is, well, I'm not doing it, they did it, not me. So you have a const called hello, and it's a call to the API instance here, example. So if I go to API here, I have just a few configuration things here. We don't really have to uh, go through that, but you can go to example. But this root file is something that we're going to be touching on frequently. So you have an example that's part of the router, and the example is simply a call to this example router here. Example router contains three, well, you can call them endpoints. So three endpoints. One of them is called hello. Assuming this would be like I mean, technically they can all be get requests. So this is a hello, this is get all, this is get secret message. Okay. Now the call here is being made to hello. So obviously it's gonna be going through here and then through here. It's gonna get here. So hello is a public procedure, meaning that you're not required to be authenticated or anything. And just to show you, if I go to this, sign out, I still have hello from Morocco, while on the other hand, yeah, I have to sign in again. While here you see that this secret message is only visible once I'm logged in. So this is a public procedure, this is a protected procedure. So uh, yeah, so here's the protected procedure here, and these two are public. You can see the secret message. So hello, you are logged in. So you can see it change here and so on. Now we can add our own procedures as we go. So I don't think that's something that we have to do, but let's just look at the definition of these procedures. So if you go to this one, this is simply a regular procedure. Um, what else is there to show here? Okay. Yeah, so we can look at the protected procedure. So this protected procedure uses this function, enforce that the user is authenticated. It's a middleware that takes the context entry and the next call to the actual route, the actual endpoint call, which gives back some information around about the session. So once given the session, the context of the user session, which you'll get through the actual details that are saved once the user is authenticated, you can check if there is a session. You can just return next with that session information. Otherwise, if there is no session or there is no user specified in that session, you can just say unauthorized, and then the person would not be able to go through with the information that I'm trying to pass. So so I am calling a protected procedure here, and it's using this function here, this logic here. I can easily just add like another enforce like user, although is authenticated, but I want to ensure that, for instance, is admin, right? So it would more or less do relatively the same thing, but this time it's gonna add another check for whether or not the user is an actual admin. So I'm gonna pass this kind of data here, although it's not gonna actually work because I have no way for me to check this one because the session does not actually contain a yeah, as you can see here, the session does not actually contain an is admin entry here, so we're gonna work with that. Okay, I'd rather just call this role and do something like, yeah, exactly, admin. Because when you say is admin, it could be you're either an admin or not. You don't allow for other entries like service provider, regular user, etc. Okay. Obviously, it's not gonna like this because Given the size boolean string, have no overlap, property role does not exist, which is understandable. We can add it. We can add it on the API here, and is it here? I think it's auth. Oh, I think it's next auth actually. Yes, I think it's this one. Auth options. And yes, callback session user. And the user would have role user.role. And the user.role does not exist on adapter user, which makes sense. Sorry, and let me go to no, not this. Prisma, no, wrong place. Prisma adapter, no, it's not what I want. Is it the session? No, it's not session. No, it's not that. User. Yes, and here this is the one. It's in auth exactly. It's in auth. Declare module. Yeah. So I want here. Yeah, exactly. This. So I want the role to be of type user role. Now I'm gonna actually call this in. I'm assuming this is being brought from Prisma. This would be brought from Prisma, yes. So I'll go here. I'll add an enum called, let's do user role. I'm gonna do either user or admin. So I'm gonna support both. Let's do service provider as well. Let's do provider. Okay. And I wish to add it here. So the role would be user role, and if I haven't defined it, I want the default role to be of type user, which is the regular role. Now, if I do, I'm gonna have to push the database change because I actually added a new column to the user table, and actually at the same time I added an enum. Was that handled? Usually it should. No, I think it does it when I try to migrate. So if I do again npx Prisma Studio, I have user on the role is of type user, as you can see here, which is perfect. Okay. Now let me go back and check if this is still complaining. Okay, is it? It looks to be looks to complain still. Yeah. So bringing this from Prisma, and Prisma, it tells me that the user role can be either be user, admin, or a provider. That looks good, right? And so this should be fine. This should be fine. Don't really care about this. And was it not like the session.user admin? Okay, so we have role here. Yeah. So dot session dot user. So we have role here. So what's the problem? Okay. Yeah. Now this is perfectly fine. So if the person is not an admin, it would be forbidden. Otherwise, if the person is indeed an admin, you would just pass on the data of the session and the user, and you can continue with your request. So, for instance, let's exemplify this through the let's do this one. So, protected procedure, right? Now, if I go to, I accidentally logged out. Okay. So, sign in with Google. Now, I'm a regular user. As you can see here, I'm a regular user. Now, if I log in, hello, you are logged in, etc. You are logged in as, let's say, as admin, right? Now, obviously, I'm not an admin, right? I'm a regular user, so I'm gonna have to switch this into uh, enforce user is admin, but I just remembered that I didn't actually export that as a valid middleware. So if I go to go here, go to a public procedure. So enforce user is authenticated. Enforce user is admin. So I can do something like this. Protected. Let's call it protected admin procedure, and to enforce user is admin. I think this is gonna play. Yeah, perfect. Now if I do here protected admin procedure, which is this one. Now it's not gonna work because here it shows forbidden because the user the role of my role is actually user, not admin, and I'm only allowing admins to see the message. So if I do something like admin and save the change, now if I go here, give it some time. Interesting. Maybe if I sound can sign in, let me check. Usually it should work directly. Hello from Morocco. Uh, okay. 1 second. So if I'm not an admin, session user role. If you're not an admin, what are you do? Wait. Yeah, exactly. Let me just console log this and see. Oh, it's undefined. Okay, so it's not even doesn't even show. Okay, so this means that I think this context. What does it contain? It contains a session, and this session contains uh hmm, so it's this. What is this? Options. So context options. Okay, so protect the admin procedure. Enforce user is admin. But do I have something here? No, I don't. I don't have anything here. But if I do no, 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 it's not. It's not the. Okay, I have an idea. Uh, I have to check a previous implementation of this so that I can look exactly at what was the issue here. So, hmm, user.roles and roles could extend. So this is in auth.js, auth.ts, sorry. Yeah, so I need the interface of the user as well. I believe so. And then the role would be of type user role as well. That could be it. So we have the user session here and session, yeah, the user. Now if I go here, You know what? Let me just refresh and see. So it's still undefined. Okay, that's fine. But what if I try to check? No. Hmm. No. Session dot user dot role dot user dot role. That's slightly annoying. Okay. So what is the context? The context is this. No, no, no. Don't really care about this, but this aspect. Hmm. So the user role is free. So it's not even finding it. Refreshing. It should be there. So the role is there. Let me just try one more refresh and see if that somehow fixes it. I'm gonna try one more thing as well. Okay, now it works. Hmm. Was that change needed though? The change that I made, the interface? I don't think so. Because disable the return object in the auth provider's feedback available in the job routine session callbacks. Yeah, I think. Hmm. Because the role was available. Okay, it's fine. I'd like to actually explore if because it's obviously just an interface. It's not really gonna be. Yeah, but sure, we can. I think we have to remove it though. I mean, we don't have to, but let's keep it. We might need it later, actually. So we can deal with that. Okay. So that's good. That's good. That's good. Now, as I was saying earlier, now that we changed now this one is now protected admin procedure. We're enforcing that the user is an admin. So it's checking for. Let me get this now. So if the user, obviously we can probably make this better, but it's only for didactic reasons. Didactic reasons. So we're checking for the session and the user within that session. If one of them does not exist, unauthorized. Now, assuming they do exist, we're checking the role of that user. If they're not an admin, they're forbidden. Otherwise, they are admins. They're allowed to do whatever they want to do with their request, and that's perfect. Okay, so we're gonna need this later on. So we're gonna keep the implementation here, and this is typically how we're gonna deal with our requests later on. Obviously, not only you don't really have to call this like so. You can also have access to uh, a bunch of states here. So one of them would be so this request gives you like a data. You can give it a different name, which is hello, and so that would still work, right? That would still work because hello.data. Okay, so let's do is loading, right? And if I do something like if is loading, return, it's loading. Okay, perfect. I guess we can make this look better, but I guess for the purpose of having some logic with some loading logic, you can do this, I guess. Okay. Now we have to do this because if we keep data like so, it's going to be expecting to have instead of hello, it's expecting to have to see data here, data, and obviously that's not really. But actually, you can just do this. Yeah, you can just do this and it would work. But I'd rather just have hello defined here because you're typically not going to be only making one request per page, you might have like multiple requests going on at the same time, and all of them are deconstructed into this data object. So it's good to give these aliases. So this would be, for instance, the hello message, etc. And you can move from there. Okay. What else do we want to do? Well, first of all, we might just want to get rid of all of this mess. We don't really care. Uh, this would be something like shocker retweet, right? It should pop. Yeah, there we go. Shocker retweet. Generated by whatever. We don't really care about the SEO stuff and the meta tags and whatever. We can deal with that later or not. Um, hello is possibly undefined because I mean I checked the loading. Yeah, we'll do this, whatever. Hello data does not exist. Greeting string. Hmm. Okay. Cool. Um. So there's also this part here that actually kind of matters is they just show you like how authentication would essentially work because this shows you this part here. I just noticed that this is stuck loading. Uh, uh, so it's actually relevant the change that we did here. Yeah. hmm Let's keep it hello for now. Okay. Yeah, because I think the fact that yeah, I think I know what was going on. hmm Yeah. So it should be hello, and then this one should be hello dot greeting. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so now we explored this part. If you look at the authentication or authorization showcase, you have session data. So basically, this use session comes from next auth, and basically you get the information about the person who is currently logged in, right? And you're making another request here. Now this time it's get secret message. So earlier we did hello. Now we're looking at asking for the get secret message. And again, use query. We're not providing any input. And enabled would be session data user is not undefined. So this is a boolean. And get secret message, protect the admin. Okay. And then you have your session data here. If they exist, means that you're logged in. So we'll give it a name here. Obviously, there's going to be multiple name, email, image name, etc. Role. Log in as admin, right? And then if you have a secret message, it will show that secret message. You are logged in as admin. Hello, you are logged in as admin, etc. Okay. If session data exists, sign out. Otherwise, sign in. So this is what makes the button dynamic. Cool. Okay. What else is there to show? Use query. What is the query taking? Ah, okay. Yeah. So if there is no if okay, yeah. So this default to disable automatic refetching when the query mounts or changes query keys to refetch the queries, the refetch method really false to true. Okay. So this would be enabled in the sense that it would keep refetching based on some certain conditions here. We're not gonna really need that, but yeah. it's for performance saving. Okay, looks good. Now we're 1 hour in and we haven't done anything, which is perfect. Now we can go to our Prisma. Yeah, we can go to our Prisma and then we go here, schema. Okay. So we have our session, we have our user. The role, we specify the role. It can be as user, an admin, or a provider, right? And we said that the provider can be a user. So what if you just do something like model provider? Let me do something real quick. Is I'd like to actually push this here. I don't know if it helps with making some better contextual. So model provider and yes. So ideally, I would like to link this to a user. User ID string. No way. So the provider ID would have a name for that provider. Would have a slug, image, description, accounts, if they have an account, and the account is linked here, and the account is linked to the user. Now I could link it to the account, but I could also link it to the user. I'd rather actually link it to the user. Yeah, I'd rather link it to the user. Hmm. Yeah. User ID, user. Okay. And so the provider would have, yeah, we'll look at that later. But yes, so the provider would have an ID, primary key, and the default would be this ID right here. And I don't think I need to have a name. Yeah, we haven't discussed that the provider can provide um, classes. Like the session will be based on a class. But I don't think that really matters because what matters is that you have a session in the first place. So we can just pretend that this. Uh, well, for the sake of, hmm, yeah, we could have a bunch of okay, we could have a bunch of classes set to the same user. Yes, I'm really not good at thinking out loud, so you might wanna excuse me with that. Okay. So we have a provider with an ID, user ID, so we'll actually do a model and uh, availability. And the availability would be given to the provider. Okay. How would you model an availability table? That's an interesting question. Okay, I mean, there's obviously a bunch of ways to do it. How would you model a Prisma entity for user availabilities? Hmm. So it's start dates and dates. What about availabilities across uh, multiple days? Hmm. No. Okay, okay. So ideally you'd have, let's say, five entries for user availability, one with, let's say, start date for Monday, start time for that Monday, and date given that Monday, the same Monday, and yeah. And then yeah, okay, that looks good. Yoink. Hmm. Yeah, that actually works. Yeah. So yeah, so we don't really need this example, but if I delete it, I'm gonna have to delete a bunch of other things, so no need to go forward with that. So and then the provider ID and okay, let me do provider ID here. Will that fix it? Error validating. Oh yes, no, this is provider. It references the ID. Yeah, it also doesn't like this. The argument field must refer only to standard field, but it is referencing the following relationship field, user ID. I'm not really familiar with this error. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's not okay. It kept the yeah, sure. What did it do earlier? It kept the same. Yeah, it kept the same. Ah, yeah. Should I? Should I actually? Yeah, I think I should. Yeah, availability. Actually, you know what? Let me do something because that kind of like solves it for me usually. So if we go here, we go here because that was broken. If we go npx Prisma DB push, if there are some breaking areas, it's not gonna push. Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Mm-hmm. So the provider is, yeah. So I think it should be something like user ID string and then user, something like that. Yeah, I think that works. And then provider ID string and then provider. And then what it did is that it added, yeah, exactly, it added the availability entry. Perfect. So now we have we have a provider with a bunch of availability entries, right? So start dates. I really don't think we, yeah. This feels redundant. Can probably just settle with yeah, we can probably just settle with start date and end date. Yeah, start date and end date. Let me push again, and that should work. Okay. So the provider has a bunch of availabilities. The provider obviously assume that it's going to be a user. Mm-hmm. I'm sure there's a better way of doing this, like default, and that would require that the user is actually a provider, not a regular user. But we can work with this. It's fine. Okay. Try to think if we have other entities that we might want to include. So service provider, we have classes. Do you want to add classes? Do you want to add schools? Yeah, I mean, we can do that. Let's do. model, uh, school, right? And the name, which funny enough can be an enum. So if you do enum, school type, school, I mean, we can do school type, we can do SSE, SSE, SHSS or no, SHSS, whatever. Okay, and the name would be school type. We don't have an address, we don't have a city, we don't have a state, and actually we don't need school. We need classes, we need courses. Course. So the course will have a name, which would be of type string, and then it would be school. No, it should be school, which is school type. I'll just call it school now because I don't have a phone. Maybe we can have a description, right? Let me do db text because I believe that helps with dealing with text length in a sense. I think it depends whether or not you use MySQL or PostgreSQL for that. Okay. Now again, if I push all of this, I go to Prisma. Yeah, wait a sec. Okay, I do this. User account 98. Oh wait. Oops. Longer. Okay. Now I have all of them set up here. Probably like add some random data, but we can do that later. And then we can filter by the school so that we can get only the courses that correspond to one of the schools here, etc. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. User session. Okay. Course. I think I'm happy with this. Now, if you go back to the index page, let me get rid of everything. It's the white. So that I can annoy some people. Okay, that's horrible. Yeah. I'm not gonna touch this page. I'm gonna just add like another home page and do this. Yeah. Now if I go to home, perfect. Okay. Now what I want to do next is try to set up the UI library. So let's see here. Yeah, I set this up now. Documentation. This is the first time I set this up. It should be interesting. I'll do it here, but I'll try to switch the order so that you can see the screen. Yes, please. Do I have do I have something in the not really. Okay. Directly did. Okay, sure. Bunch of. Okay. So some utils were added. Uh-huh. And it was actually a bunch of things included in here. I should have done something else, which was I should have pushed to my Git repository before doing this. Well, okay. Add the foreign dependencies. Really don't like doing this, but sure, let's go for it. Aliases, I use tsconfig, whatever. Configure element. Ah, this is manual. Oh my god. Yeah, whatever, because they were already added. So manual installation, no need. Okay, so that's kind of done, right? Yes, this is done. Icons. I believe Lucid is already. Yeah, so it's already there. Good. App structure. So inside of app, they use the components. So this basically just try to have, something. So let's go for home, right? And let me call this home, right? Components, UI. Should I do something like squeegee? No, because it's not actually defined. Hmm, I think I got the idea. Wait. So there's a components page and it contains UI. Okay. So if I go to components inside of, yeah, so this is assuming the next base 13, I guess. But if I do, okay, let me try both. Doesn't matter. Let me do components slash uh, oh, oops. Components. Yeah, I think I should do it inside of source. Yeah. Components. Mm-hmm. 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 Oh, okay. So if we do something like, so it's usually the CLI. Uh-huh. Yes, please. Components. It's gonna add them outside. Yes, it's gonna do them here. Okay. So this means I don't actually need this. Okay. Oops. I mean, alert. So it's not gonna work, but um, so this is my alert dialog. Not gonna look at the code, and I think I need to set up which is something that they did. They set up an alias for the yep, yep. I think that's what I should do. Correct. ts config ts config. Mm, 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 mm. So technically, if I go now here from wait, okay, no, I'm just gonna do this. So come no, so that works. UI, other dialog. Oh, perfect, 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 perfect. If I do this code UI, why do I have okay? I have a button like this. So I'll have to do button. I'm guessing. Yeah, I'll probably fix it. Yeah, exactly. So okay, that's interesting. So if I try to yoink this uh, demo here. Wait, that was the wrong. Oh wait, that's the right. That's the right. So localhost. Okay, I have an idea why that's not working. Can't resolve because import trace for. Okay, I'll have to get rid of this. Like config for tailwind CSS. So output export default. So this way satisfies config. It should satisfy the config. I'm not sure even if that matters. Okay, and what is config? Okay, can only be changed. I just files. No problem. If I do this, yes. Does that fix it? Let me just redo that. Yeah. Okay, I think I know why, but I just have to check. Oh, yeah, I think I know why. Yeah. Wait. Yes. That'll probably fix it. But then you have this issue where, can I do both? Yeah, it's not gonna work. Um, mm, what if I do this? Okay, that kind of works, but it's not. Hmm. hmm So it just doesn't work anymore. I don't know if this is. So you have a bunch of issues happening at the same time, and I'm not quite sure how to handle it. Well, you know what? I guess we'll just use the good old. So when some of this stuff was added, I have to check. So I'll get rid of this, and I'll get rid of this, and what else? I'll get rid of this. Sure, cool. And some just broke. Yes, yes. I'll have to fix one thing though, and that's the. What I will do is I will yoink from another project the CSS to have both CSS. It's gonna be the same, relatively more or less, prettier, more or less the same thing. The config file. Mm, okay. There, I have a prettier config, but I think this should be. Wait, is it CGS or TS? I think it was TS. It was TS. Oh, also I have to fix the little mess I had here. Yeah, I have to fix that as well. Okay, but I think this should be TS. Yeah, should be TS. Mm-hmm. What is CSS? I don't need this. Mm-hmm. This is annoying. We'll do something quite interesting. 1 second. So what I'll do is, but I really don't want to do it. This is all good. Put it here. This is all good. Tailwind. Config. I'm gonna change this. And I'm gonna make it save. And see if that somehow, I'm not gonna use this plugin. And see if that somehow, I don't know, somehow some type of way fixes the problem. And I don't see why this would be different. Yeah, it is different in the sense like, yeah, but we don't really have to care about that. Still doesn't work. Okay, so I'll do one better. Mm. What? Mm. Mm. Wait, got it. That was the issue. P. That was a long. Yeah, whatever. I'll get rid of this project. I'll say. Doesn't work as intended because. Yep. It did not change this. let me just mm, yeah, work now, I guess. Thanks. Perfect. And we're back to square one. Perfect. But this time actually gonna do something that I'm used to. Tailwind, well. So if this is confusing, what just happened is that I tried to set up a different UI library, but I had problems with the anyway, there's been some Tailwind conflicting stuff here, so I couldn't really get it to work properly. And given a time constraint, I just decided to migrate to a relatively fresh environment. I'm gonna set up Tailwind UI real quick. Seems to be the Tailwind UI, yeah, exactly. Seems to be a better option for me either way. So yeah, as I was gonna go, you'll probably get something with the sidebar layout. How does that look? Yeah, looks good. I believe I already have the code for this one, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, I just have to quickly find it. If I'm lucky, I'm gonna have it. Hopefully. hmm So let's try to yonk this code. Probably share it with everyone. Uh, that shouldn't really be a problem. Okay. It's gonna be a lot of boilerplate code, but it should get most of the job done for us at least. Yeah. So I have to set up headless UI React and hero icons. Headless UI. So this. Mhm. And I believe hero icons as well. I forgot how to install it. Should I specify React or yeah, I should. So provided that this works perfectly fine from the get-go, I should do home and I'm greeted with something that is a little more interesting than what you would expect. And I believe this comes with some mobile. Yeah. Well, perfect. We already have something going for us for once. Beautiful. I don't know if this interrupted the. No, it still works. So after nearly 2 hours of work, at least we have something going for us this time. In terms of, well, we can see something now. Okay, so we have a dashboard. Perfect. We have our sign out place here. We could sign out. Could go to our profile, and it probably just play with the way this is set up correct right now. So so it says I need to set up. this thing. So I will do that. Select CSS forms. Maybe it should be a div dependency. Because I think I installed it in the wrong. Another check. Yeah, I should have specified it as a. No worries. I'll just get rid of it. Here, again install. Basically, it just goes through this again. If there is something missing, it will just get rid of it. And this should work now. It was added to the development dependencies. Was it added? Removing dependencies dot in favor of their dependencies. Yes. Okay. Doesn't seem to have done anything by the way, but okay. Oh, yeah, this should work now. Yeah, okay, all good. So we'll get rid of this. We can call this home, right? And actually, well, this is the real home. So what we do is, and is, start home, greeting. Yeah, yeah, I prefer having something here. I prefer not having something here, to be honest. Okay. Uh, Class showcase. I kind of care about having this kind of data here, but I'm gonna get rid of the rest. I just need to do this, this, and this, and that should work fine. Obviously, it's not gonna work fine. Why did I assume that? Index returns. Uh, Perfect. Now just display. Let's do. I don't want to replace the entire content yet. I just want to have something here that's a bit. Let's do home component for now. Okay. I'll probably stick this into components folder, and I think this should update accordingly. Yes, perfect. Can I do this? Yes, I think I can. Okay, so the only reason is that because I didn't want to have the ability to do this because that file was here, was inside of the pages folder, and once that's the case, it becomes that this component is accessible via the that link. So I just want to stash it into the components folder so that doesn't actually happen. Okay, now we're good. So I'd like to play with the loading states. What actually I'm gonna do for now is just get rid of this and just do this for now. Doesn't really matter because I'm not using the data anyway. So okay. We have our profile that's not going to take us anywhere, right? But what we'll do is we're going to create some random pages. Um, mhm. Actually, what I'll do is I'll try to get my session data. So I'll do const session equals session, right? And and so my session data contains a bunch of info, including my avatar. So if I do avatar or image, yeah. So this is Mark. No, this is not Mark. Where is the? Yeah, it's this guy. I think. Yeah. So I'm gonna replace this with session dot data dot user dot image. Now I have my own image here. That looks good. And the source, I think it complains about it being mm, but it still complains. Yeah, probably would because I don't think it really likes the null aspects as well. But we can just keep it the way it is for now. So we'll do this, and yeah, because the image could be, yeah, it can be undefined, which makes sense. Because I don't think I am forcing the existence of an image in Prisma, and there is because not all third-party authentication services provide you with an image, so you don't really want to break this. So it's fine, you can keep it that way. Uh, Maybe I should do something like, just keep it that way. We can take care of that later, if we ever do. Okay, so we have our whatever image here. I don't really care about the search part area, so I'll just get rid of it. Label, so this is a 4, so I don't care about this part here. Let's check if it doesn't break anything. Perfect. We can get rid of that. We'll get rid of that. Okay, now this is the part that I'm reminding about. If I do this and flex 1, justify this one as a center. Doesn't really hurt to keep it like so. Another thing that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to try to play with the colors of these. Okay, so let's look at, we have a dashboard. So ideally a dashboard would have a set of cards. Maybe the card that contains stats or something. Right. And also I'm not really happy with uh, the design look of the so I'm gonna use this code instead actually. Yeah. I'll use this code instead. Faster to make the changes that I just did again. I want something to be a bit muted in terms of look. So I'm not trying to make it look like kudos. So we do this. We'll call it on component. Component and const session and this will come from the next auth. package, and I'll check something like no image. Mhm. Mhm. Session dot data dot user dot image. Now that's good. I like it. I like it there. I'm gonna get rid of the search as I did last time. Um, Actually, we could do it some. Hmm. Yeah, no, not gonna get that. Don't want that, to be honest. Okay. So I also don't really care about having notifications because we don't really have any logic for notifications. So I'll keep that. Settings also don't have any logic settings, but sign out actually is a relevant uh, thing for us. So what we do is typically when we click the sign up button, what it does, it takes us to 1 second. I don't know if I can do this. Wait, let's see if that works. No, it's not gonna work. Yeah, because it has to be an on-click event. Correct. So let me quickly do something because I'm gonna actually more or less get this properly working. So sign out, user navigation map. How many of those I have? Okay, good. So user navigation map, and quickly do an on click sign up and see if that actually works. Yeah, that's what I want to do. But sign in. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll do. Mm, okay, I have an idea. So what I'll do is I'll take this, yoink, and then cancel all of this out. Don't really need this, and don't really need this. Okay. So this is the map. It maps to this item here, and after that's done, we'll add another menu item here. See if that works. Okay. Perfect. What if I do sign in? That work? Perfect. That works. That works. That works. So what I'll do is I'll make it conditional based on whether or not the session exists or not. Uh, mm-hmm. Okay. I think session would exist regardless. So, but the data is the one that's not for sure. Yeah. And the same thing here. I would do uh, sign out. So sign out and then sign in. That looks good. Right. Now, ideally, if I'm signed out, I would not be wanting to even see this page in the first place. So that's one way to look at it, but we can keep it going. Now, let's look at some card designs for Tailwind UI, marketing, form layouts, show more. Cards. Hmm. Not really a card, but should we make our own cards? That's the question. We have some cards here actually. So, or we should just take one of those. Hmm. These are mostly actually for. Yeah, we don't want that. What other options do we have? Should we create our own card? Is the question. Yeah, sure, let's do it, whatever. Component card.tsx. We'll call it card. I don't need this React thing. And the cards, should we make them fixed? Let me just get a card going here, by the way. Oops. Dashboard. Replace with your content. So let's call a card and see how that looks. Let's do a few. Okay. Consider the cards here. Mm-hmm. Okay. So this is just a placeholder for us to know where exactly is everything. So let me get rid of that. And the card would basically be, let's do height over 4 and width, let's do auto whatever. Let's do background gray 300. Okay. Let's do inline. Okay. And border shadow, let's do some shadow and border Is it radius? No, it's not border, it's rounded. Okay. Maybe the width should be, let's give it some, let's do 56. And the card will be 48. And let's give some padding for each card of 4. No, sorry, Mario. Okay. Yeah, no, it's not what I'm gonna be doing here, actually. I'm gonna be doing it here. Flex. And it's space. Yeah. So space 8. And how does that look? Looks bad. So maybe I should give a max width to the cards. No, I don't. Min width to the cards. Mm, I don't wish to make these. I want them to be. Um, flex or grid. It's probably. I mean, ideally, this we're gonna have a fixed number. Let's do, for instance, 4, right? So if we do 4, yeah, I think yeah, it should be grid. It should be grid. I mean, I think we can get it to work with. Let's do 4 columns, right? Interesting behavior. And so 4 by default. Actually, it's two. Let's see how to. Whoa, what's going on here? What's going on here? Okay, I guess that's more predictable. Well, grid columns 4 works fine. Do we also do space here, or is it gap? It's gap. Yeah, I don't know. Wait, what is that works? If I do 3, it still looks fine. 4 looks fine. And I'll do something like grid 4 and medium-sized screen is gonna be grid 3. And for small, it's gonna be grid columns 2. Okay, so this is not considered to be a long screen. Let's do 4 here, and I guess you can do 5, generally speaking. No, it's not gonna work, right? Yeah, it's not gonna work. It should be 2. Yes. So this should be 2. Actually, it should be 1 by default, and then 2 for small screens. So 1 by default, 2 for small screens. And something we can do 4. Yeah, I think I'm happy with this. I'm not that happy with this though. So I think large should be 4. Yes, that's good. I'm not happy with the way these look though. Maybe I should keep it 2 regardless. Yeah, that looks good. Now get rid of the card name. I don't want it to be called card, it's kind of boring. And maybe you should do 100. 50? Does 50 exist? Kind of. Okay. So What kind of data are we interested in? I mean, we would be interested in some, let's say, it's the title. So basically, we're just going to be passing some random props, title and number. So the title will be here, for instance, total sessions, uh, number of classes, number of courses taught. Let's do something like most popular mm, course. What else should we do? Hours worked. Let's do 50. Let's do whatever data structures. And let's do you've taught 6 classes in total. Total sessions, let's do 72. I don't know. How long do people usually? I don't know. Let's do 120? Whatever. That's okay. And this will basically contain the title and the stats. And title is a string and stat is a string or a number. Perfect. So we'll do something like, I don't know, what is it asking for me to do? Sure. We'll just follow its lead, I guess. Let's see what this gives us. It could actually look good. And interesting data. Ah, sorry. Forgot to save. This is for next column. I like this one, but I don't like the fact that it's centering the items. And this could be way smaller, larger, and honestly, I even don't like this. Do like padding 2, and how can we get this? 9, so 9, whoa, 6, 5. You know, it doesn't matter how it looks really. Let's just do this. And padding also to be set to 2. Yeah, I guess we can play with this some other type of way, but hmm. Maybe I can play with this a bit more. Yeah, let's do it. Let's keep it like so. Okay. hmm So we have some random data here. All this constitutes the need to add some actual data to make this actually, worthwhile. But we would like to add a button, and this button would essentially, push you towards uh, maybe adding some data or displaying some data. I mean, by adding, I mean, let's say reserving someone. So I'm an admin, and if I was a service provider, I'd both be able to add my availabilities and at the same time remove some of those availabilities. So let's perhaps work on. Hmm. sessions. Okay, so maybe what we can do is I'm a service provider. I want to be able to add my own sessions. So, in other words, my availabilities. And that way, I would be able to also have some sample logic for students attempting to add, uh, you know, a session assignment or assign themselves to a session. So we can do that. So maybe we can have a separate page for this. So so for page, yeah, I just got something. Yeah, I just have something in mind now. So for navigation, yeah, for this, your company. So I'd like to keep this stacked, and I'm assuming it's this one. Dialog panel, transition root, transition child. So I think it's this whole thing. I think so. Oh, so it's not this. What? Confused. Side buff. Oh. Okay. It's this. I think it's this. Yes, it's the whole thing actually. Yes. And this is the top bar, which I'm also gonna need. I also need to add. Yeah, yeah. Yep. So I need to do some. Oh, so this is the main. Okay. So I probably need to do some. Uh, mhm. There's like two divs that are required. Okay. So what I'll do is have this put in. Let's do header nav bar TSX RC, and this would be here, right? But this would actually take some children, and we can have that displayed somewhere here, I believe. Children. Yes, I need to close down these two divs. I think I need to still need to close one. What? How many? Oh yeah, wait. Actually, probably exit. Mm. Let me do this properly. No, don't. Okay. So I need this guy, no? New state from React, and I have a div that contains a dialog. Interesting. So okay. So let me take the div But why does it? Let me take the whole thing. Go here. That should be fine. But the main, which is what I care about, is what ideally should differ from this to another. So ideally I would be calling this navbar like so, right? But then I would give it this code. It would accept the child as its. Did I pass the child? It was here, so the children would be passed here. Yeah, children component would be in here, and this accepts children as, yeah, and then transition, dialog, fragments. So basically just importing everything that we can. Navigation. So we have navigation and user navigation. Also logical. Okay, yeah, because it was exported it, well, it's fine. Could use that. What else is there? Oh yeah, these icons. So we have our icons here. Bell icon, magnifying icon. I think, yeah, none of it's been used. Okay. I'm sure there's something broken somewhere. I mean, obviously. Okay. Do you have a nav bar? We have a nav bar. Fragment. Not needed. We don't need this. Ah, yes, we need a session. We need a session. And there's a session. What else is there that we need? Navigation. Now we can see what's going on. Menu as div. Cannot find name menu. Okay. Source. We remember that being an error. What else is there? That should be it. Perfect. Now the idea would be that if I navigate to a different page, I'll still keep the navbar showed up, but the child components would be different. Whatever I put here would be different. That of course would require that the navbar does not load a second time. You can probably just test that out by doing something. So let's just try that now. So if you do index, we have our home component, and we wanted to create a session or availabilities. Let's do availabilities. Let's call it availabilities. Right? And we'll add it to navigations. So navbar, we'll do availabilities. Let's do calendar icon. Okay. There needs to be some logic here to determine exactly where you are, but that doesn't really matter. We can take care of that later. So if you go to availabilities, okay, cool. But now I should be able to do something along the lines of maybe a nav bar, right? And then div availabilities. Exactly, perfect. Mm. Yeah, it does load it one more time. This means that this nav bar should be so yeah, it should not be called here, or it should be called actually here, nav bar. Actually, I don't think that's no, I don't think that's what it's. Yeah, it's not the right way of doing it now. This is gonna stay here. I think it should be put uh, nav bar. Let's see if that works. Then availabilities, we don't need a nav bar here. And so availabilities. Oh, what? Yeah, I should call that. I should call that dashboard. Should be slash simply. Okay, that's actually worked as expected because I don't need the nav bar here anymore. Yeah, nav bar. Let me try something. That doesn't work. We can figure it out later. Export default with. No, it's not with. It's not lazy. Memo. We can call it navbar. See if that fixes it. Oh, okay, 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 okay. I know what's wrong. I don't think I should be using the anchor tag. I should be using the link tag. Yes, I think it should be the link tag. That would probably fix it. Yeah, here we go. Perfect. So I don't really care about these ones, so we're just gonna get rid of them. Okay. I think yes. Some equals. Yeah, I'm gonna try this if this actually fixes it. I wonder if that works. Oh, those not defined. So what would be actually the way to go? Yikes. Epilepsy warning. Okay. Okay, we can figure that out later. It's no problem. My settings, my profile. We don't really care about this either. But availabilities. So with availabilities, ideally you'd be given like a map, not a map, sorry, calendar that contains your where when you are typically available. I mean, it can be a calendar, it can be a bunch of cards. It doesn't really have to, we don't really have to set ourselves into one specific implementation. And calendars can be a bit finicky to play with. So what we'll do is we're probably gonna play with cards. And the way we'll do it is, I mean, we get to choose our business rules, so we can do with what we can. So one way to do it is we would only allow 1 hour sessions, right? So only 1 hour sessions, such that the session would contain, from to, right? If it is booked, we can potentially look at the, which reminds me, we need a booking entity that links user with availability and the service provider and the course. Yeah, course. Perfect. So only 1 hour sessions from two. If it is booked, you can potentially look at the booking information, right? And yes, so ideally we're only looking at this kind of data from a service provider point of view, so not an admin point of view. Okay. Now I'm thinking, Wesh, should I work on adding some sample data first, or just try to code this? I think I should add some sample data first. So let's do that first. Okay, let's do that. Actually, maybe let's push first to GitHub. I think I'm relatively happy with the way we're doing things, well, more or less. Okay. Uh, got inspired to use this Gitmoji thing. Uh, Sparkles. Hmm. So all of these are, yeah, good. So we can commit those. And then we have some things here that we would like to, some FR. Gotta get rid of the unused imports. Okay. Same thing here. Now I have no imports here. We have a component folder. Doesn't use this, doesn't use this, doesn't use this. Okay. App. Navbar availabilities. Not in the navbar anymore. And use session. Don't need that. We don't need that. I mean, I'm guessing we don't need that. Yeah, we don't. What else? Untouched. We'll keep that because it might be required. I mean, it's an example, so we don't really need this. We're gonna get rid of the example at some point anyway. Okay, and this is whatever. Cool, 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 cool. Mhm. So this is Prisma. This connection. Add headless UI and hero icons. Doc, doc, net. New and variable configuration. So it will be here. This is relevant for us. So backend server. What should we call it? Hmm. Mm-hmm. 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 Sure, we can do that. Card on components, there's some UI elements. I think I'm gonna push them all at once. Mm-hmm. Like whatever. Uh, playing around with routing, with procedures and routes. Yeah, nothing else about it. Some more config stuff. Yeah, I'm not sure why this is. Yeah, whatever. Sure. I wanna add sure. Yeah, although I'm spending way too long on this. Uh, yeah, sure. It's not even refactoring, but whatever. The end line. New line, add, and a file. UI. No. Follow the code. I mean, are we improving right? Yeah, sure. Add UI elements and remove components. Publish a branch. Let's publish it to a public repository. And GitHub. Sugar tweets. Cool. I think what I'll do now is push this and continue this later. I don't think I can manage to do it everything in one live stream, especially since you know, I've had a few bugs that I had to deal with, so yeah, probably jump on this tomorrow again on a stream. So yeah, maybe tomorrow or Wednesday, depends. Okay, so if we do Vercel, let's see if we can get this hosted in one go. Obviously not. I can already think of some problems that could happen. Okay, add new project. Yes. Hmm. It's taking its sweet time, as always. Environment variables. So if you go to the env files, you should expect something like this and this, right? I'll do CI false as well, just to avoid some random issues from happening. This is, by the way, kind of like bad practice, but I just want to get this to be hosted. Same with these checks that I think I added here. No, I did not. Well, I'm gonna add them anyway, so yeah, I'll probably add them now. So I think it's the no, I think it's next config. Is it next config? Yes, it is next config. Because I'm not that interested in getting and fixing linting and TypeScript issues. So I'm just gonna add this ignore thing here. Now this is poop, definitely, yeah. Hmm, save changes. What? Oh yeah, I have to specify these relays. Sync. Cool. Okay. So Google Client ID. I think I need something from NetAuth, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, secret. Let's do that. Let's not do that. Okay. Thanks, I guess. We can do it here. Boom, boom. I don't even know if this is required, but we'll do it anyway. Okay. I think this might not work. That might not work. But you know what? I'll do this. Oops, no, no. I'll probably do something like this, this, and because I'm not really sure what is this going to be called, but let me just pretend I know. There's no way this works from the first get-go. Okay. Uh, I just remember that the authentication may not work because it's only still specified. It only specific, yeah, it's only specific. It only specifies it on localhost. So I might have to add. I mean, I should add more links. Keep forgetting where it's at. Hit credentials. Yes, that's the one. So let me go back to this. Error is in what? Ah, I should get rid of these. Discord, 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 Discord. Mhm. So we should do that. Mhm. Can I just force it to deploy again or deployments? Did I push? I pushed. Here, let's build it again. Let's see. Okay, it seems to work. Yes. Well, obviously this is not gonna work because I have not set up the yeah, which makes sense. So let me just double check that the link is correct. So that's good. I'll go back here and add one like so. So API auth callback Google. API auth callback Google. And save it. I'm not expecting to work right away, but I can definitely try. I wanna use I wanna delete dot version app. So ideally, perfect. So we have our image, we have everything, availability. So this is what we did so far, which is basically nothing, but it's still progress. Okay, so I guess we'll pick this up tomorrow or Wednesday anyway. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, etc.